ॐ भूर्भुवः स्वः तत्सवितुर्वरेण्यं भर्गो देवस्य धीमहि धियो यो नः प्रचोदयात् ॐ शान्ति शान्ति. In our Upanishad, Mahavakyas occur. One of the Mahavakya is Tattvam Asi. So I will give this video on Tattvam Asi. Tattvam Asi, thou art that, that thou art, or you are that, is one of the Mahavakya's grand pronouncement. Originally occurs in the Chandogya Upanishad 6.8.7 in the dialogue between Uddalaka and his son Svetketu. It appears at the end of a section and is repeated at the end of the subsequent sections as a refrain. The meaning of this saying is that the self, in its original, pure, primordial state, is wholly or partially identifiable or identical with the ultimate reality, that is the ground and origin of all phenomena. The knowledge that this is so characterizes the experience of liberation or salvation that accompanies the Unio Mystica. Major Vedantic schools offer different interpretations of the phrase Tattva, that Tvam You Jiva Asi are. Advaita, absolute equality of Tattva, the ultimate reality, Brahma, and Tvam, the individual self Jiva. Shuddhat Advaita, oneness in a sense between Tat and individual self, but Tat is the whole and self is a part. Visishta Advaita, identity of individual self as a part of the whole, which is Tat Brahma. Dvaita Dvaita, equal non-difference and difference between the individual self as a part of the whole, which is Tattva. Dvaita, Sa Atma Tattvam Asi. In Sanskrit is actually Sa Atma Atattvam Asi, or Atma thou art not that. Achinta Bheda Abheda. Inconceivable oneness and difference between individual self as a part of the whole, which is Tattva. In Advaita, the Tattvam Asi is the Mahavakya grand pronouncement from Chandogya Upanishad. The Advaita school of Sankara assigns a fundamental importance to this Mahavakya and three others of the same kind from three other Upanishads. This is actually a statement meted out by sage Aruni to Svetketu, his son. It says literally that thou art, in other words, the Dharma, which is the common reality behind everything in the cosmos, is the same as the essential divinity, namely the Atma within you. It is this identity which is the grand final of finale of Upanishadic teaching. It is this identity which is the grand finale of Upanishadic teaching according to Advaita. The realization of this arises only by an intuitive experience and is totally different from any objective experience. It cannot be inferred from some other bit of knowledge. To comprehend the meaning and analysis of three words of the pronouncement is needed. Who is this thou? Thou stands for the inherent substratum in each one of us without which our very existence is out of question. Certainly, it is not the body, mind, the senses, or anything that we call ours. It is the innermost self, Stripped of all egoic tendencies, it is Atma, the entity indicated by the word that, according to the notation used in the Vedas, is Brahma, the transcendent reality, which is beyond everything that is finite, everything that is conceived or thought about. You cannot give a full analogy to it, and that is why the Vedas say words cannot describe it. It cannot even be imagined because when there is nothing else other than Brahma, it has to be beyond space and time. We can imagine space without earth, water, fire, and air, but it is next to impossible to imagine something outside space. Space is the most subtle of the five elemental fundamentals. As we proceed from the grossest to the subtle, that is from earth to water, to fire, to air, and to space, the negation of each grosser matter is possible to be imagined within the framework of the more subtle one. But once we reach the fifth one, namely space or akasa, the negation of that and a conception of something beyond, where even the space is merged into something more subtle, is not for the finite mind. The Vedas therefore declare the existence of this entity and call it Sat, existence also known as Brahma, that and this, the Atma or the innermost core of our self seems to have an individuality of its own. So, in saying that it is the same as the unqualified Brahma in the infinite cosmos, we seem to be identifying two things, one that is unlimited and unconditioned, and one that is limited and conditioned. Whenever someone says, for instance, that the person B whom you were meeting just now is the same as the person A whom you saw 20 years ago at such and such a place, that is actually meant is not the identity of the dresses of the two personalities of A and B, nor of the features those of B may be totally different from A, but of the essential person behind the name. So, whenever such an identity is talked about, we have to throw away certain aspects which are temporarily distinctive or indicative in both and cling on only to those essentials without which they are not what they are. B and A may have distinct professions, may have different names, may have different attitudes towards you or towards a certain issue, or may have an additional identity, exemplified by, say, having different passports, but still they are the same is what is being asserted by the statement B is the same as A. Brahma minus its Maya and Atma minus its Avidya are identical. In the same way, when Brahma and Atma are identified by this Mahavakya, we have to discard those inessential qualities that are only indicative and therefore extraneous, and to explore what commonality or essentialness there is in them that is being identified. Brahma is the cause of this universe, but this is a predication of Brahma and so is extraneous to the identity we are talking about. The self or the Atma appears to be limited by an individuality which keeps it under the spell of ignorance. This is extraneous to the essentiality of the Atma. So what is being identified is Brahman minus its feature of being the cause of this universe, and Atma minus its limitations of ignorance come delusion. That these two are the same is the content of the statement Tat Tavam Asi. The cosmic Maya is what makes Brahman the cause of this universe. The individual avidya, ignorance, is what makes the Atma circumscribed and delimited. So the Mahavakya says that Brahma minus its Maya and Atma minus its avidya are identical. in Visishtadvaita, the Vedas from the fundamental source text for everything in Hinduism. Each of the four Vedas has metaphysical speculations known as Upanishads. At the end, among the various discussions in these Upanishads, there are Mahavakyas, grand pronouncements which are of fundamental import and deep significance. Tattvam Asi meaning that thou art is one such. This is from Chandogya Upanishad. The different schools of philosophy interpret such fundamental statements in significantly different ways so as to be consistent with their own philosophical thought. Below is the interpretation of Vishisht Advaita school. Objection to the Advaita interpretation. The proclamation of Shankaracharya Tattvam Asi is correct that both Atma and Paramatma are Satta Chitte Ananda, meaning qualitative unity of the soul and God. However, Atma being localized, Paramatma consequently has localized consciousness. Paramatma being the reservoir of Atma is situated within every heart, is aware of all its localized undivided parts. Therefore, Tattvam Asi falls short to understand that the soul is not equal to the absolute truth in all respects. For example, as a single drop of water has the same qualities as an ocean of water, so has our consciousness the qualities of God's consciousness but is proportionally subordinate. Furthermore, if Atma and Paramatma were indeed one and the same, it would be possible for any ordinary person to claim omnipotence, omniscience, and omnipresence in equivalence to God. Scientifically, we know this to be false. Sankara, however, does not claim the person is God but that the person is unreal, so no contradictions with science. According to Advaita, there are three orders of reality. Paramarthika Satyam, absolute reality. Vyavaharika Satyam, empirical reality. Pratibhasika Satyam, subjective reality. I salute that Govinda who is the extreme limit of happiness, who is pretty cause of causes, primeval without beginning and a form of time, who danced again and again on the head of serpent Kalia in the river Yamuna, who is black in color, ever present in time and destroy the evil effects of Kali, and who is the cause of the march of time for the past and the future. Adi Shankara Bhagavad Pada. My dear Devi, sometimes I preach a Mayavad philosophy for those who are engrossed in the mode of ignorance. But if a person in the mode of goodness happen to hear this Mayavadi philosophy, he falls down, for when I preach this Mayavadi philosophy, I say that the living entity and the Supreme Lord are one and the same. Lord Shiva Padma Purana Ramanuja on the Mahavakya. In the expression blue lotus, for example, the two attributes of blueness and lotus nature both inhere in common substratum without losing their individuality. Such subsistence of many attributes in a common substratum is the correct opposition. Samadhi Karanya, rather than the mere opposition as propounded by the Advaita school. Direct meaning of the expression should be taken, simultaneously fulfilling the condition of Samanadhikaranya, meaning of the Mahavakya. The mighty Ishvara, who is the indweller in the cosmic body, is also the indweller in every jiva. Every jiva individually is the body of Ishvara, just as the cosmos as a whole is the tat of the statement refer to Ishvara, who reside in the cosmic body, and the Tavam refers to the same Ishvara who indwells the Jiva and has got the Jiva as the body. All the bodies, the cosmic and individual, are held in adjectival relationship. Aparthak Siddhi. in the one Iswara. Tattvam Asi declare that oneness of Iswara. So this is all about the Mahavakya Tattvam Asi. Thank you for watching this video. Please like, share and comment the video and subscribe my channel. Thank you dear friend. Om Shanti Shanti.